in the zone.
That's good, especially with Pope out of pocket. So we're gonna need you on. Marshall Whalen, if you can mute your thing there, and anybody else has got any. There we go. Looks like we're all in. Let's share screens. Let's get started, shall we?
Let's do it.
Share.
We got 2-minute drill on leaderboards today, don't we, buddy?
Yes, we do. When's the last time we got to do a really good 2-minute drill on leaderboards?
It's been a while. Let's see what
you think you still got it? You still got what it takes, you think?
You're the one that's doing it, so you're gonna have to see.
All right, here we go. Top 10 new writers for the week. Congratulations to Christine Garinas, $9,673. Look at number 3 producer there, Maximilian Valerie Masson. Maximilian. Are you not entertained? I love it. $23,000 though, Max. You got destroyed today. Jean Estelle. Isn't it great to get beat when you had $20,000 in production? That's awesome. Congratulations, everybody that made the top 10, especially you, Maximilian. Well, no, I should say, especially you, Jean Estelle. And look, number 2 is not even getting mentioned. Caroline Morales. Sorry. Here we go. Number 1 app count producer for the week, Harrison Zipkin with 29. Mary Strader, the top Medicare supplement producer. Top DI producer for the week was Kimberly Ruiz with $129. Number 1 IUL producer with 10,000 even, Heather Geidinger. Number 1 annuity producer, Michael Burns, $455,000. Not too shabby. Nice. Number 1 DFL producer, Emmanuel Holder. Have heard nothing but amazing things about the DFL boot camp. The DFL leads, everything about DFL is killing it right now. Excuse me. Total recruits week to date, Jacob Pogue, number 1 in the base. Well done. Amy Fine, Bradley Shinovar, and Ben and Amy Miller also rounding it out. Number 1 on the directs board, Mr. Jacob Pogue with 24. Edged out Kevin Purdy with 23. Number 1 in licensed recruits in the base, Amy Fine. Well done, Amos. Tied for top on the directs board, Kevin Purdy and Edward Pritchett with 12 each. Jacob Pogue with 11. Top base shop new writers, Marvelous Marlon Faulkner with 2. Top direct new writers, Jacob Pogue with 8. That seems like a lot. Is it just me or does that seem like a good number?
Seems like a lot. That's a good one.
We're having more SNAs pop out than ever before and just keeping this train rolling, guys. Brandon Moe, Brenda Edwards, Brittany Zahner. I'm going to go Zahner since we know Doug Zahner. Where am I? Carl Wright, Cynthia Rodenberger, Diana Peterson, Aaron Shavinsky, John Bolts, Caleb Spiegel, Lauren McKeehan, Nicole Elliott, Noah Hardy, and Wendy Goodman. Congratulations, all of you seasoned new agents. Keep it up. Consistency is the key. Consistency, Casey.
Right.
It's critical. I don't know if you've ever heard that before.
Yeah.
Weekly leaderboards for the key leaders. Jose Martinez with $23,506. Carlton Lear, number 1 with $50,000. Top agency directors for the week, Larry and Ann Griffin. Top regional agency director, Eileen Balmer. Top MVP, George and Janet Matthews. Look how much they killed it this week. That was a big old. Top senior vice president. Look at Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell. Such a good picture, man. They look like a couple of professionals right there, don't they? $171,000. Executive vice president, Carl Miller. Associate partner, Lynn Watkins, $618,000. Wasn't even close, by the way.
Not even
Senior
close.
partner, Easy Eddie Pritchett, $892,000. Managing partner, Marshall Whalen took it though this week. It was Marshall's week, and he took it. $916,855. Congratulations to everyone on the Whalen team. Well done. Top direct for the week, Pogue back up, $177,592. I like seeing Kashan still up there too, after he had a breakout. Top base shop, Derek Brock. What do you think about that? Killing it.
Good.
I like it, DB. Way to go, 41,604. Oh, we got some promotions, man. Top producers, Maximilian, Keith Fonseca, and Ann Jensen. Elite producer. Ooh, James Satterfield. That's
nice.
A big one. Nicely done. Team leaders, Amanda Lunsford, Jacqueline Anderson, James Jennings, Melissa Hale, Melvin Lerner. That's what I'm going with. Istanbuli, next on the list, and Rebecca Hamilton, Arena Dixon, Russell Hunter, Steve Montgomery, and Wesley Ingbrecht.
Nice.
My German's pretty.
It's pretty good, man. Pretty strong.
I know. Thank you. Key leaders: Bryant Mitchell, Cameron King, Douglas Dorr, Eric Sullivan, Martin Kimboy, and Paul Angel.
Nice.
Well done. Yep. Agency owners. It's a good little crew of them. 5 this time. Winifred Brown, Jose Martinez, Vincent Andriotti. You think he's a like ex-race car driver?
Sounds like it.
He got to be. Abra Brown and Aranza Laragon. Congratulations, all of you guys and
Welcome
gals.
to the Agency Owner Club. Very nice. Good work, guys.
We're going to have to work on Jose Martinez's picture, though. It's not a good shot.
Exactly.
Agency director, Mark Newbauer. We call him Never Sour Newbauer.
Right.
He's always in a good mood, man. Ben and Amy Miller, Frank Cordaro, all regional agency directors. Chris Cook, MVP. I bet he's hoping that Tennessee has an MVP this year. Ashley Tarr, a new associate partner, and rumor is that she is found herself a new associate partner also. So congratulations
yes,
to happily engaged couple, Tyler and Tar. What did we call them?
Guys.
I think their Brangelina or Bradgelina or whatever it was Tarler.
Tarler, yeah.
Tarler's they've really taken off. Congratulations, you guys. Matt and Brad Smith, senior partners.
Nice.
They
are senior partners.
They are. Tomorrow, UHL, UFFL, products and project updates. Love it. 11 o'clock Eastern. Don't miss it. Monday, we've got Satiski, DiNardo, and Davies all on working from home, how to achieve true symmetry in your career.
Nice.
I feel like the timing on that could be really good. There's so many people probably that are not able to go into work. They're back at home. Hopefully that's not here to stay, or coming, I should say, but that's going to be a good one. So tune in. And last but not least, DFL LIVIN, hosted by Mr. Mike Resma, if he's feeling up to it by Tuesday, which if I know Mike Resma, he will be. He's been a little down in the dumps. Down in the dumps makes it sound sad. It's not down in the dumps. It's down in the, I don't know, not feeling well. How's that?
Yeah.
I think that was, I mean, I've got 9 minutes, 14 seconds, and I'm not sure that we started right at 1 o'clock. So
yeah, I mean, it wasn't 2 minutes, but good try.
Right. Thank you. Getting better. I think we have a video. Actually, did we have something else we wanted to talk about right here before we played the video, and then we were going to come back?
I think we did want to just kind of mention, COVID and the timing with altitude conferences, especially. Just want to remind everyone, sorry, I got something in my throat. Just want to remind everyone to keep it safe, mask up. We kind of enforced a mask mandate here at the office, but just want everybody to stay safe out there. Follow the guidelines, follow the rules. I think Pritchett's altitude is coming up tomorrow. So a bunch of events coming out. So just want everyone to stay extremely safe out there. We've had a lot of stuff hit close to home here in the home office with some COVID cases as well recently. We actually had an employee, Rhonda, in our home office in contracting, not only come down with COVID, but her husband did as well, and passed away due to COVID. I think it was 2 to 3 days ago, right? So this is all just hitting so close to home. We hope everyone out there is staying safe and just kind of thinking about every precaution we can take to kind of go through this thing and come out the other side as healthy and good as we can.
Yeah.
So
yep. Well
stay
said.
safe. Yep.
Everybody stay safe and have kindness for sure.
Yeah.
If you're at a hotel and somebody needs you to wear a mask, then wear your mask. Just be nice to the people that are trying to take care of you.
Yep.
All right, buddy.
Well said, man. I think we do have a video, Ariel, right?
Yeah. We got one video, but I made an error before we get started. I always call Abra, and I did it again. And I would like to apologize because she's officially an agency owner and I can no longer make mistakes with names and it be overlooked. So
call, buddy.
Abra, I will get that correct. I
Abra.
promise. Congratulations to you for sure. So yes, sir. I think we do have a video.
Yep. I'm going to block my video.
Before Symmetry, I was stocking boxes in the warehouse for $12 an hour.
Before Symmetry, I was a depressed mess and unemployed.
I was a pre-med student.
I was killing myself working about 80 hours a week as a superintendent, raising everybody else's kids but my own.
I was a psychologist for the state of Texas.
5 years ago, I moved from Spain here to America. Didn't speak English, learned the whole new language.
I came from a pretty successful career, but I got beat up when the collapse of the secondary money market happened. I had to start from nothing at 50 years old, and that's pretty hard to do.
I came into Symmetry not knowing anything about sales, insurance.
It scared the daylights out of me, to be honest, and especially going into it being a single parent, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? What happens if I have a bad month? You know, what happens if this doesn't work out?
It was about 6 weeks of me just making a mess. But I also knew that I was in the right place. And I knew that if I just kept at it, it was gonna be a great fit.
The income is astounding.
My first week in the field, I went out and wrote a couple of applications, wrote 2 apps, and I was able to make $1,000 in about a week and a half.
I made $3,100 in one night. At the time, that's how much I was making a month.
I sold 6 policies, and they all got approved, they all got issued. I got, paid around $4,000. And I remember calling you and being like, so now what? What's the catch?
It was probably 3 or 4 months before I was back to making the level of income that I was used to in the car business, but I knew it was coming. And I knew that once it came, it was gonna go way further.
And my first year in the field, I worked 2 days a week approximately. The rest of the time I was able to work from home, spend time with my kids, and I was still able to net $119,000.
In our first year, we were able to replace our income of 6 figures and work about half the time that it took us to work in our previous career.
I made 15 grand my first full month here, and then I think it went up to almost $20,000 after that. And by the 4th, 5th month, I was making $30,000 to $35,000 a month very consistently.
I went from making $1,500 a month as a stocking boxes to over $25,000 a month.
By the time my first year was up, I had made over $250,000. That to me just blew my mind. And I was like, no, I had to go back and recount. I was like, are you serious? I've never ever been in a profession where the money has continuously flowed in like how it has since I've been with Symmetry.
The mass that I made before Symmetry, it was probably like $20,000 a year. So going from $20,000 to almost $200,000, we get spoiled here, right?
In the midst of a global pandemic, the year prior, like each of those years, I was able to get a 6-figure raise to the year prior.
Last month, I had 88 deposits into my bank account. More money in a month than most people make in a year. It's not that I'm so great, it's that the Symmetry system is great.
All we have to do is control our own activity, and the money will follow.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Good stuff.
Nicely done.
Love that.
Yes.
Love
Nicely
seeing that.
done. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, Brandon. Time for the big State of the Union.
Yes, it is.
You ready for this?
I am. Should I be nervous?
Just to kind of set the stage, I think, for a second for everyone, because I think there's probably a lot of new people on the call or people that weren't here for our last State of the Union. And I think it's, probably good to set the stage for where we are as a company, what the last couple of years have even been like. What are we, Brandon, now 12 years old?
Just about.
Getting ready to go on 13 or getting ready to go on 12? Getting
ready to round out 12.
Getting ready to turn 12. The first 10 years was quite the amazing journey. It's been awesome to see this thing go from, a spare bedroom and just 1 or 2 agents, which were really me and Brandon and my brother, Lynn, who's out there somewhere, to growing to, thousands of agents across the country. I don't know how many offices we have across the country, but it's a ton. And, a couple of years ago, something kind of crazy was happening in the industry, where there was a lot of consolidation that was happening at every other independent marketing organization that was operating in our space kind of were consolidated under really one massive umbrella. But that consolidation where the owners or the CEOs of these companies kind of cashed in, whatever you want to call it, it left us out in the open. We're kind of last man standing, and very sizable company at that point. And so, Brandon and Brian and myself had a conversation. I remember this conversation like it was yesterday, Brandon. We started talking about, what do we want to do? What's the play here? And, what we discussed on that call was, we have such an amazing platform. We have such an amazing foundation as a company, filled with so many amazing leaders. We have a clear strategy that is working very, very well. What if we decided to kind of invest everything we could into this thing, from an energy standpoint, from a financial standpoint, from a resources standpoint? What if we kind of leaned into this thing and really transformed an industry that really has lagged behind? It's kind of a dinosaur of an industry. It really is. From a technology standpoint, nothing was really happening. From an innovation standpoint, around products, or the agent, the workflow aspect of things as you go to work as an agent, nothing is really evolving. And so what if we actually lean into this thing? And that's what we decided to do. And we laid out a really kind of a blueprint for you guys a couple of years ago in a State of the Union, saying, here's what we want to do. Here's what we think we can do. And so the last couple of years has been filled with a lot of work, really focusing on driving value, not just to clients, but to our agents. And it feels like today we're kind of getting to this point, Brandon, where, we can do a little bit of a site visit. If you've ever built a house before, Brandon, you're right in the middle of building a house. Like, one of the most fun parts of building a house is actually kind of getting into the house and doing like a little walkthrough or a site visit, where you're actually seeing things start to take shape. And I think that's kind of a fitting illustration of where we are as a company, because, if this is a house, I think we're walking in, we're seeing kind of plumbing in the walls, we're seeing some lights, operating, we're seeing some things actually come to life a little bit. Yet there's so much more to go, and we're going to talk about that too. But we wanted to just start off today by giving you guys a little walkthrough on how much we've grown and how much has changed in our house in the last couple of years. And when we started kind of laying out all of our value props, Brandon, we started thinking about what is it that we have now to work with. It's drastically better enhanced than it was even 2 years ago. And it was already really good. We were getting, recognized as one of the top 5,000 fastest growing companies in this country, 5 years in a row. So to take that foundation and then to see what we have now, we wanted to kind of rapid fire really quickly to kick things off. What's on the table for all of us right now? How's our house look, Brandon? So let's see if we can jump through this pretty quick.
Okay, the house is looking
Any
great.
comments on that, though? The crazy part is we haven't even capitalized yet. I know we're going to get into that, but we haven't actually, a lot of this plan, when we did the architecture of it, we realized this is going to be, $20 to $40 million, depending on which kind of route we go with some of it. And we haven't actually even capitalized on it yet. So when I say this house is going to look drastically different in 6 months or 12 months down the road, it very much is. But
yeah, the only thing I would add is, sometimes when you stay in the house, you kind of take it for granted sometimes, or you think that other things out there may be not as good, but you don't really understand just how different what you have really is. And I think especially because we have a lot of agents that come to us not having any experience in the industry. The value of a lead is a perfect example, but there's so many other value props that the organization has that not just things that we've created, but things that have been created by the advisory board and by the equity partners and by the directs, and the culture is a big piece of that as well, right? So sometimes I think it's good just to put these in front of all of us as a reminder of this is not normal.
Yeah.
This growth is not normal. This company is not normal. Everything that we have access to, it's just very special. And sometimes I think it's good, as you said, just to have a reminder of that. So
well said. And we're coming out with some really good kind of marketing assets for you guys around these value props to have it all in one spot, so you can clearly, you know, as you're building your businesses, articulate these things to the people that you're hiring. So let's go through it.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna set it up.
That's kind of an important one. You know, industry leading compensation plan, best compensation in the industry, focused on delivering net profit. I will challenge anyone in the industry to a whiteboard calculator duel on our compensation plan. And, you know, this is not we're focused on contracts only. There's a big difference between contract and compensation. And we're starting to see a lot of people wake up to this idea that, oh, contract doesn't actually mean net profit. You know, if it's if 200,000 is going in one pocket, you know, and 150 back out the other, I'm only making 50 because the cost of business is so much, you know. So our compensation plan, and again, we're going to have some marketing assets around the actual math and the beauty of what it is that we have from a compensation plan standpoint, out to you guys soon. But that's a big one. Best compensation in the industry, hands down. Full renewals vested day one. We have agents sometimes asking that. I think some other companies out there in the industry say that, you know, they're the only ones that don't have that have, you know, renewals and vested day one. We've had that since the beginning of time.
Well, I think a lot of companies do. It's kind of like saying my car is better than yours because it has wheels.
Exactly.
I mean, sure, there are some companies that don't offer it because, you know, they have LOA, or they pay you commissions, and the commissions go straight to them. But not every company, but
pretty standard stuff.
Pretty standard stuff.
Game-changing leads program. This is you know, there's a reason why this is at the top of the list. The industry's best vetted and generated in-house, heavily subsidized to SFG agents. We're going to get into a little bit more of that in a second, but that is, I would say, in many ways, especially in your very first part of your journey with us, more crucial than a lot of things is, what is my cost to acquire clients, or what is my cost to get appointments? You know, how much does 12 appointments cost me? Can I get 12 appointments for $500 a week, or do I have to spend, you know, $2,000 a week to get that many appointments? So,
and how much time does it save you?
And the time aspect too. So we're going to dig into that a little bit more. Let's keep rolling. Best in class bonuses, over 900,000 in bonuses paid out monthly on top of commissions. That's growing rapidly. Equity appreciation rights. We'll get into more of that in a second. That's a big one though, aligning with your company's growth and market opportunities. Before there's an actual, you know, opportunity, let's make sure the alignment is there, right? True agency ownership, protect what you build. Hundreds of agency owners promoted annually. That number is also growing very rapidly because results matter. You know, if we're not actually getting people the result that we're telling them that they should get here, then that's a problem. So we're getting the result for people. Market leading product offerings. We're going to dig into that in a second.
I'd also just say, as we kind of tie some of these things together, but under true agency ownership, like, it's hard to build a massive agency and to add a lot of impact if you're having to spend 30 hours a week in the field selling insurance. The ability as an agency owner to actually own your life and pull out of the field eventually, don't do it too soon, but eventually, is such a benefit that people don't realize how important it really is. Be like Marshall Whalen or Edward Pritchett, or any of the people that we just call out, having to spend 30 hours a week still writing $15,000 a month in production just to be profitable.
Well, it also comes down to what do you want, right? Do you want to be in the field in 10 years? Or do you want to be or in a position where you can be out of the field in a year and a half or two? Some people do it quicker than that. Some people, it takes a little bit longer, but what do you want is one thing. But what happens when life doesn't care about what you want? And and you get served up something that's unexpected, and you can't work, and you can't, you can't go out in the field. That's something that we think about, and we want to protect people that get in that position, whether it be, some sort of sickness or injury or disability where you can't actually do that part of the work. Or in case of a death, we've had that hit close to home for us several times, with people that we were very close to, and they were able to take an agency with the agency owner contract and pass it on to the next generation or to their spouse. And that's very important for us
That's so important, because I can't tell you how many times we talk to agents or agencies that have decent sized groups, and stuff has just been stolen from them or taken from them,
moved around. It happens all the time.
Company will come in and just like take the stuff that you work so hard for and just move it direct to somebody else. And none of our agency owners thought that we were ever going to do that, but I think it was I remember having early advisory board discussions around, what if we could really put that into the form of a contract so that all the new people coming in that don't know us yet really could feel safe in that, because that is a big problem.
It is. It happens all the time. And again, a lot of these things are in place because Brandon and I were out there in the wild, out there in the industry together with another company, and we saw it all the time. Every month we were hearing a horror story about some agency being moved from another hierarchy.
Terminated for no reason. Sorry, got us off track. Market
leading product offerings. We're going to hit on that too, but access to so many carriers, so many top rated insurance companies. I know we only concentrate on a handful of them, but we got some more goodies coming there. This next one, this is why I got into the business in the first place, world-class travel. And in addition to the carrier trips that we all get a chance to win, some of you guys win 3-4 carrier trips a year because you do that much business, but you also get the our favorite trip, which is just us. It's a Symmetry destination trip to such an awesome 4-star, 4 seasons resort in 5-star. Is it 5-star? I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
One of the nicest places we've ever been to, and we've been, fortunate and grateful that we've been able to travel all over this world for the past 12 years together, Brandon. Really for the past 15, 20 years together. And we've been to, I don't know how many countries and how many awesome locations. And I will tell you that the 4 Seasons in Costa Rica is at the top of my list.
Yeah,
it's right up there with Dorado Beach, Puerto Rico, but it's a kind of a tie in my book. But yeah, world-class travel. What's next? Proprietary product development. Going to hit on that in a second. We are
Ayers Newsom calls that proprietary product development.
Yeah, he's not the only one. But this one is a big focus, and Pope is in the air today, but we need to wind him up on one of these calls soon, around what is going on around our proprietary product development. Really fun stuff, exciting stuff. And we're going to share just our first little uncovering of that today with you guys.
Yep.
Award-winning sales platform, helping you run your reach to serve more clients. QMS, expert cross-selling team, creating passive income for you. We're going to give you an update on that one. That's a big one too. We got I get texts all the time from agents waking up to a couple $100 or $500 or, $6,000 for the month of just passive, didn't even know it was going to happen income from sales that they made years ago.
Yes.
So cool. Best in class training, onboarding platform. This platform we use, by the way, guys, on the LMS, that's used by some fairly large Fortune 500 companies. Grant Cardone, some of you guys are familiar with what he does. Some of you guys know Tony Robbins. They use the same Lightspeed platform that we use to onboard and educate and train our people. So really awesome, best in class training. Again, all free. Proprietary tech platform. That's getting ready to get supercharged even more over the next 6, 8, 10 months. Hang on tight for that one. Quality corporate support. It's a big one too, Brandon. How many we got behind the scenes right now and growing? 160?
Yeah, it's pushing 170. And I think that you don't really know how important that is until you've been without it.
Yeah.
Right. Having to kind of staff your own, you're building an agency. If you're having to staff all of your own, all of your own staff for everything, It gets really expensive. And it also takes your eye off of what continues to grow the business, which is recruiting, producing, mentoring, training. Having all these people kind of do a lot of the work for you goes without saying, but
yeah. And let's go to the next one. Yeah, let's hit the next one. World-class leadership development, proven coaches, mentors. You got that all up and down the agencies, but you also have people on staff, dedicated. Brian Williamson as an example, Spivey as an example, pretty much anyone on our staff, but we definitely have dedicated people, leadership development, because it's a core value of ours, as you guys know, that we have a relentless pursuit of personal growth. And so we can't have a core value that says relentless pursuit of personal growth and not actually give you guys a platform to grow. And I will tell you, Brandon, when I look at the rest of the industry, and you'll occasionally see, their people on podcast or on stage or just whatever social media they have. And I've had this comment from other people too, Brandon, you probably have as well. There's a noticeable difference in our people and how you guys carry yourselves, and you're so much more developed than so many other companies out there. And it's because you guys make it a value of yours. You drive that down into your agencies, and kudos to everyone, because I think it's showing itself now that we have some of the strongest leaders in this entire industry with our company. Yeah. So really cool there. We got a conservation department. We're going to share some numbers with you on that. On staff, a lot of people don't know this, Brandon, because we just don't talk about it enough, but we have a full-blown conservation team behind the scenes that's going actively behind your business that's falling off and putting it back on the books and saving you from getting chargebacks. Lots of premium being saved with our conservation team.
Yeah, it also makes us the top award winner with all of our companies around persistency as well.
Yep, they love it. They're going, how are y'all doing virtual? Because a lot of people out there in the industries, you can't do virtual because the persistency is going to suck. Well, we got carriers telling us the exact opposite right now, saying you guys have the heaviest, best persistency of any of our IMOs right now. So, I think it's a combination of what you guys are doing out there in the field and this conservation team kind of helping clean up some of that. Award-winning culture. As we always say, culture eats strategy for lunch, and we just are very proud of everything you guys are doing out there to continue to protect the culture. Award-winning growth. We're going to hit more on that in a second, because again, results matter. You got connect, thrive, and impact. Initiatives from the company that are actually kind of in place that everyone can leverage and everyone can focus on. What else you got, Brandon? That's all in one shot. Look at that.
It's a lot. Seems a little overwhelming.
We've grown up, Brandon.
Yes, we have. And we're trying to grow every day.
And before we move on to some of the goodies we want to roll out, on this note, we just kind of want to take a minute to say thank you, to everyone on this call. All of you guys out there in the field running personal production, helping clients every day. All of you guys leading teams in the field. All of you guys on the call that are on the corporate sales team, just rocking it with the QMS cross-selling engine. Everyone, for sure. Also, we just mentioned the 160 behind the scenes and the corporate staff. A lot of time you guys don't get the same amount of love, and we just wanted to say thank you. We know everyone behind the scenes is really digging in right now, because we're, again, we haven't actually capitalized yet. And so we are running with the ball as if we have, and it's a lot. And so everyone out there, just take a minute over the next week or so, thank the staff. You got half the staff or more working on just the day-to-day operations of things, helping you with contracting, helping you with new business, helping you with leads. And then you got a good portion also just focused on, how do we get this thing better for everyone, which I think is a really, really cool spot. But we just wanted to express some gratitude to everyone right now for a minute, because we've had some some serious success this year, and you know, it would not have happened whatsoever without all your help. So thank you.
Yeah, and I would just like to add to that, Casey, that you know it's all happening for most people, for a lot of people, while they've been at home as well. You know, we've got 2 office buildings that are under construction, one's finished, you know, but because of COVID and because of other things, you know, a lot of these people are pouring in to the business, but they're having to do it from home. And for anybody that understands what that feels like, you know, when you've got kids, you've got other things at home, for a lot of folks, it feels like you really can't get away from it. And the way that they've kind of held it together, they've been mentally tough to do it. They've put in more hours than they've ever put in. It goes unrecognized and more often, I guess, than it should. And the value, as we said earlier, to have 160 or 170 people in your corner that are making your lives easier and running your businesses, which is really what allows so much of the time and the freedom back for the AOs out there. You know, what a great benefit, and I couldn't agree more, man. It's just so much gratitude for everybody that's just working their butts off.
Yeah, this I'm gonna chime in. This slide's amazing for so many reasons, but to foot stomp the corporate staff team, I was looking at the group on here, and I know you start mentioning names, and it gets you could talk about 160 plus names, but I was reflecting on the last quarter and thinking about, I had some time to just informally bump into Brianna Teets in the office, and we just got catching up, and I was listening to her talk about how she's, you know, investing in her thinking about how do we continue to drive things forward, make things better. We had our Q3 rock setting meeting with the executive team and then the directors, and we're at dinner. Kate Doyle Henderson's there, just obsessed in the best way, right, with business intelligence and how do we make these agency owners more profitable and how do we drive things forward. I mean, I could go around and around to people on this team. That's an incredible asset. If I'm thinking about this from a agent perspective, all the support, and it's real, right? From a leadership vantage point, we ask the question, are you for me, against me, or for yourself? And I've not locked eyes with one leader on this team that is not for this organization and for the agents. And it's actually remarkable. It's not this way everywhere, Brandon. You're exactly right. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we first kind of had to start with where are we? Right. And really kind of going back to the beginning of the year, as we rolled out the word of the year, as we like to do, invest. Everybody knows what invest means, right? It's time, it's effort, it's energy, it's resources. Are you investing money back into the business? Or are you giving enough of your energy and your time to the agents that you're attracting to your business? Are you investing in yourself enough to keep getting better, as you were just saying, with all of the different tools that are offered to you? What are you doing to take advantage of all of that? How much are you investing? And at the beginning of the year, with our first kind of State of the Union, there were really 3 specific areas that we wanted to highlight for people. Number 1 was leads, because looking at the data, it was obviously very clear that the people that work the most A leads write the most premium, right? And so how quickly can you get, and how quickly are you getting A leads into the hands of your newer agents, right? So increasing GMRs as an example, but also investing in new ideas. Can I get into statewide GMRs? Can I get into multi-state GMRs? Can I, invest in all of the things that are going to allow my agents to be more successful and allow my agency to grow? Because it's simple math. The more leads you have under management, A leads, the larger your organization. And we can talk more about that in a second. The second one was agent activation. And a lot of the stuff that we began to learn through COVID and through this virtual environment, as we began to think that, we began to realize that initially we thought we had fewer opportunities for connection, but because of modern technology, we really actually have more opportunities for connection if you take advantage of it. And a lot of the teams said, we are going to take advantage of it. We're huddling up 5 days a week. I've even heard of some people doing 6 days a week because of other call times and that sort of thing, but 6 days a week, 5 days a week, some 3 days a week. And that's great too. Giving people an opportunity to come to you, get the training, get the recognition, get a sense of the culture to help motivate them to get through every day, right? And to keep getting better every single day. And then, obviously investing in recruiting, ads, marketing, support staff. Are you setting 20 interviews per week? Thinking back, Casey, to quarter 1, what I would love for every agency owner to do and to think about right now is, how would you grade yourself now that we're entering into, or that we're knee deep, I guess, into Q3?
Yep.
How would you grade yourself from that commitment level that you had and that excitement and energy level that you had back at the beginning of the year when you made a commitment that you were going to invest? How have you done? Here's how it's been working, guys. Exceptionally well. Every slide that we're going to show you is all about organic growth. Okay. There were acquisitions and mergers and that sort of thing, but that's not how we're looking at these graphs. That's important to look at that growth as well. But this is just what you guys have done this year compared to last. Okay. Over 128 million of APV, 101,000 applications. That's 31% growth year over year. Okay. Look at the growth in A leads. Over 335,000 A leads have been generated by Quility's marketing department just this year. How does that compare from the beginning of the year? 54% up just from July back to January. In a 6 to 7 month period, we have grown to allocate and create more than 54% higher. That means, I don't know about you, buddy, but that means it's working exceptionally well. And that's not cheap. Everybody knows that, why don't other companies or people in the insurance space have as robust a lead program as we have? Well, because a little bit beyond midway through the year, we've invested $5.5 million net in the lead program. So whenever somebody, Casey, says to you, or you read something somewhere where somebody is saying, well, they're just trying to sell leads, or they just want to make money in leads, you have any patience for that?
Nope. Love to show them our statements here. 5.4 million net investment. That's a net loss. That's after you guys that are out in the field are paying your portion of the leads. Yep. And you say, well, why is that? Why are you guys doing that? Why don't you just do like the rest of the industry and just like not subsidize leads, not work on your lead game? Well, Brandon, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for leads, if it weren't for quality leads.
If it weren't for good leads. Yeah.
And I also wouldn't be here if when I started, you told me I was going to have to pay $80 or $85 for a lead, or pay, $40 for a
$2,000 a week,
or for a $40 for a lead that only delivers half of the quality of what our $38 leads at the starting contract provide. And so again, I think we drastically, I think some people don't actually do the math, and they drastically underestimate how important it is to your net profit at the end of the month to have a low cost of getting appointments, or the lowest cost to acquiring clients. That's a big secret to our success, is we recognize that when agents come to us, they don't have $2,000 a week to invest in leads. They have $250 or $300 or $500, sometimes not even that. And we got to get you started on some older bonus leads to do that, but we have those in spades too. But I want to get you in your first 90 to 120 days. I want to get you in a spot where you're earning and you're learning very rapidly, because you're sitting in front of twice as many clients for the same dollar. That's the key to fast growth in this business, is affordable activity. And that's why we invest. Yep.
Yeah. It's affordable activity, but it's also a mental energy and prevention of burnout. Because maybe if you're new and you have to put in a lot more activity, then you got to do what you got to do. If you've got to do that every single day, and you're literally spending 30 hours, 20 hours plus a week of just trying to find people to try to sell insurance to, like that is exhausting. And the value of your time, all of your times, is worth so much more than that. If you're having to work 80, 90 hours a week and you're not seeing your kids, you're not seeing your family, or maybe you're not married or you have kids, but maybe you have other things that actually fill you up that you would really like to do. You're not able to do those things because you're having to work so hard for it. Then what is it worth? You know, and that's the real value prop. If you could sum it all up into one, after everything that we've really talked about, is Quility allows you to have a life, you know, not just make a living, but make a life. And some people can do that in 30, 35, 40 hours a week. Sometimes you got to get a little bit out of balance to kind of create that. But I never hear of our people saying, well, I'm having to put in 90 or 100 hours a week to do it. And that's consistently what we hear from other places. So,
or being made fun of for not putting in 80 or 90 hours. That's never fun either.
Be made fun of for going on vacation, or being made fun of to do the things that fill you up, you know?
Never been part of the culture.
Nope.
Never will be.
Never will be. It's a part of a lot of sales cultures, but you won't see it here. 100% growth in SNAs from January to now, meaning that people have put a focus on it. We've talked about it. We've recognized it. People putting a focus on it. They're pouring in and giving their people more so that their people are actually going out and getting more. We've added 42 AOs this year through July. That's 100% over.
Those two things are very connected. We focus at the beginning of the year because we did a deep dive in the data, and we said, okay, well, let's learn something from this dive. What are we learning here? We're learning that new agents that get started that can at least do a minimum of 6 apps in 6 weeks with us have an extremely high stickiness. You guys stick with us when you get to that level. All we did in January was say, let's put a target on it. Let's create a level, call it a SNA, and you guys start talking about it. Huddle up with your teams, get people focused on being an SNA. And we doubled the amount of SNAs that we were promoting from January to July. And that has a domino effect in the next bullet point, which is agency owners. And we've done the same there. We've
doubled up
105% over all of 2020 in the amount of agency owners we're recognizing. That's important because we're going to share some stuff for you later that's going to apply to new agents that's going to have an even more massive effect in not just you as a new agent, but this domino effect that happens all the way up the chain.
You got it. This is one that we said that we were going to hit on more. Over 1.3 million in premiums so far, a little bit past halfway mark through the year. And the conservation department has saved that much premium. And that's something that nobody's charged for. Nobody's, you know, we hardly ever even talk about it. But when you talk about over the past 5 or 6 years that we've had this, it's millions of dollars of commission and revenue back into the pockets of agents that oftentimes probably didn't even know that there was an issue, because insurance carriers aren't great, a lot of them, at notifying you that, hey, someone's trying to cancel their policy. And generally what we find is that they didn't even know that they were canceling their policy. There were banking issues. Maybe they didn't get maybe they didn't get the right notification themselves, or maybe they just procrastinated to change the banking info or the whatever. Or sometimes it just takes a friendly voice to say, hey, here's why you did this. Here's why you took this policy out. Here's why you should keep that policy. Would you like for me to have your agent give you a call back so you can kind of talk through the benefits, if we have to scale it back a little bit, if there's any changes that you would like to make? Sometimes that's all it takes.
That's it.
309 agents have received QMS commissions year to date, close to $400,000 paid out in commissions. And that's only going to keep on getting better.
Just getting started, man. Just starting to scale that. So
what can everyone do? We were just talking to Ditson and the fellas.
Yes.
Ditson and Nate. They gave you a last minute change.
Everyone needs to, on this point, all agents that haven't been certified in the QMS, you need to go to the LMS program. You need to go to the LMS platform and do the QMS course. I think I have that right. Spivey, if I butchered that, let me know what I.
No, that's right, buddy. Just make sure you go to the LMS system. There's a quick, short 20-minute video that we encourage everybody to watch. And the importance of that, guys, is we used to notify you when you're going in the QMS program, because we were onboarding maybe 10 to 15 agents a week. Now, guys, Jason Ditson and Nathan Burks, the team over there, has scaled this thing to we're adding 100 agents at a time. We can't actively communicate up front So please, as your agency owners, as agents out there, go to the LMS, watch the 20-minute video, be prepared to be enrolled into the QMS program at any given minute. And just know, when your clients start getting contacted, they're now going to be receiving text messages as well. And it will include the SFG 2009 moniker so that you know that it's legit. But that's how we're also reaching out to talk to your clients. And it's so crucial how you all respond initially. When your clients do get that text message, the first thing they're going to do is call you as the initial writing agent. Yep. It's so important that you edify the program and encourage that appointment right out of the bat so that we can have more success on all sides of this cool program.
Love it.
Yep. Just got a great text from somebody said, geez, when was the last time I was in the field? I just got a $1,300 QMS deposit. $1,300. It's pretty sweet. Hadn't been in the field in 5 years. That's awesome. That's the beauty of QMS too. If you're a manager and a builder, you're also getting the overrides.
That's right.
It's not just going to the writing agent. And if you have a writing agent that wasn't a good fit and they skedaddled elsewhere, then
goes to you.
Just flows right up to the next in the upline. We don't take that. Goes straight up to the next manager. So love it. I think.
Hey, check that out, guys.
Yeah, man. This is the proof. This is your trophy right here. The proof that it is working, because for the 6th straight year, we're in the Inc. 5000 top fastest growing companies in the country. So congratulations, everybody out there. And what would be really cool to see is how many of our AOs have kind of been on that just similar trajectory. Because if you look at some of the other businesses within the Inc. 5000, we have agencies that would qualify for that.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe we should start actually looking at that.
And by the way, you have to have a CPA firm. I think there's some accounting that they clearly look at for this, and they have to get a CPA firm involved to actually audit what reports you're sending them for this award to be entered into the equation. So well done, guys.
Not just trusting our word for it.
yeah, we grew a lot.
Killing it again. We're doing great.
Don't worry about us.
Yeah. All right, Mark Palmer. Did you see Mark, man? He came in the office this morning and he was.
That stuff. He's ready for State of the Union today.
I just look bad. I got a hat on. I got my Forrest Gump outfit on again today. Like button my shirt all the way up.
Yeah.
Here comes Palmer looking good.
The only way people take me seriously, frankly. So
right.
You got to work with what you got.
But everyone's excited to hear a little market update because as everyone, or may not everyone's aware, everyone may not be aware that we are going for some capital to lean into this thing even more and really take it to the next level. And so you want to give them a little update?
Sure. Happy to. Thanks, guys. Hello, all. Yeah, market update. Take a step back. I mean, obviously, we're in the insurance market. The insurance market's a big market. It's $1 trillion market, literally no exaggeration. That's it. There's a life insurance piece, there's a seniors piece, there's a retirement piece, there's lots of pieces. And, there's thousands of companies any day, like trying to get a piece of that action. If you look at us, certainly when I talk to people in the markets from the outside in, there's sort of two sides of us. I mean, and then we go and we look at sort of what are called comps, meaning comparables in the market. Like, how do people look at us? And two usually stand out. There's a lot that stand out, but it's like we ran out of room on the page. But, one is Goosehead, well-run company, very high growth rate. But if you have a look at it, fiscal year ending 2020 had about 117 million of revenue. And if you look at Quility, year end this year, it'll probably be the same. So, we'll accept the fact they're about a year behind them. 27.8 million of earnings before interest and taxes. That's EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation. The market cap of that company right now, what the market values Goosehead at is almost $5 billion. Just to put that into perspective, right? So this is a company that operates a franchise model in insurance. It's P&C, not life. Then has a $5 billion, $4.9 billion market cap. Maybe different today, but let's assume it's right around there. Sort of looking at the other side of the equation, which is far more in the life insurance space, and although it's a really its core value is really med sub in that area. But a market cap of 2.25 billion on 530 million. So let's call those two bookends. Quility sits in the middle here, right? We are, what's the market telling you here? Just take a step back again. The market's telling you that it really, really values and likes very scalable franchise-like models. And that's what you see in Goosehead. They're tech-enabled. They run a franchise business. They rely on people very similar to our agency owners to actually grow, expand, and scale their business. There's a lot of similarities there. If you think about us, we have 240 AOs. We're making more every week. We're making more now than we ever have. We have thousands of agents. I mean, literally thousands upon thousands that are sort of moving in and out of the system, in the system that we built. So we operate fundamentally very similarly, and everybody that we're talking to quite enjoys that. If you go to SelectQuote, what do they have? They sell MedSup, but one piece of their puzzle that people like a lot is cross-sell, right? The ability to take a client and sort of flip them into something else. Lemonade is very similar, right? It's not just the first sale, but it's like, what's the long-term value of the client? And SelectQuote is a solid company, right? But I would say that our cross-sell mechanisms are actually better. So, and again, in talking to people, we've spoken to a lot, as Casey said, I'd say dozens, frankly speaking, it may be 100 right now at this point. These are people ranging from, ultra high net worth family offices to, just straight private equity or hedge funds, capital providers to absolutely leading, strategics, other people that are sort of in the insurance market, everybody looking at us. And the reason we're valuable is the reason the market values these people, right? That's what we've learned, right? That we have the pieces that are necessary to succeed. We have the core assets, on the field, we have, one of the best sort of franchise-like models going, as you all know, as the videos and the entire conversation up to this point obviously reveals. In corporate and through the QMS program, we have arguably an infinitely scalable cross-sell program that we're constantly improving and enhancing, and that actually works, right? And everybody getting checks knows it works. And right now, frankly speaking, our corporate division, a majority of its revenue in a given month has moved to cross-sell revenue, and that's just climbing, which is just going to benefit everybody on this phone call. On the market, where will we be? Where will we be? We've been sort of operating, frankly speaking, other than these calls and other AO calls and leadership calls, we've been operating a little bit in stealth mode for a reason. There's no reason to show everything that you got until you're sort of ready to use it. We're looking down the road, 6 months, 9 months, talking to capital partners. We will do a deal that we want on our terms, right? Because we have the ability to do so. We're not a small company seeking to disrupt another company. We're a really big company seeking to disrupt ourselves, frankly. And in so doing, disrupt the entire market. And people see that. So, we'll do a deal on our terms, right? With the right partner at the right price at the right time. We have the luxury of that. We have the luxury of stable founders, right? That enables us to do that. And we have the luxury of all of you. So if we have those luxuries, we're going to exploit them. We're really focusing down the road, like the saying goes, it's like, don't be where the puck is, be where it's going to be. We know what the market wants. We know what the market values. We know what our asset base is and where we're investing. So we're really targeting forward to kind of be exactly where the puck is going to be at the right time and slap it just ridiculously hard to put it in the net, in a way that would sort of make Gretzky even embarrassed, frankly. So, the business that we're in is highly valuable. The path that we're on is well thought. It's validated. We know where we're going. We're in constant conversations, making constant adjustments, constantly learning. But I couldn't state it more strongly that, the assets that we need, we have. We have the fulcrum, we have the lever, we can move pretty much anything. And we're driving with great vigor and purpose, with really a sense of no limits on where we're going to be. So, that's a market update, but frankly speaking, we are going to make this market, Casey.
Yep, that's a good one. It's a good market update. It makes it a little bit simpler for us in some ways, because the consolidation that happened in the industry really kind of, the people leading those companies kind of did the deal, and they kind of took their eye off the ball a little bit, and no one else around us in our specific market has actually been concentrating on adding value to the agent's life. And so I think that's what's so exciting about our position to me is we are kind of the last man standing, and we've gotten ourselves quite strong over the last couple of years through, intentionally focusing on, well, how do we make the agent's life better, through all of these things we've been talking about. So there have been some extremely fun conversations, Mark, that we've been having with the capital markets, and some very interesting investors that are that could really, together we could do some incredibly crazy things in this industry, and it's just exciting stuff.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about very, very specifics about exactly how much we're raising and exactly what we're doing, because there's 2,700 people on this call and I don't know them all. But I wish I did. But I mean, we're raising a significant amount of money. We'll say that, right? And the investment is designed to go toward very well thought out research and planned tech and data spend, right? To sort of turn us into what we are, right? We're not just an insurance distributor. In all frankness, we're a sort of data and tech company that distributes insurance. And there are tens of millions of dollars allocated for that. We're constantly speaking with people, constantly partners in the space. We have many letters of intent with people who would like to, be acquired by us and sort of rolled in, right? So that's a possibility, right? I mean, it would be impossible for me to say the extent, of the investment to really give it its due. But also, I'll state, like, we're not waiting. It's not like we're sitting here saying, oh, okay, let's close this deal so that we can make moves in the market. We know what the market wants. We know what it needs. We're making the investment right now. Yep. Right? Like, that was the theme, as you said, for the year anyway. And, I just have to tell people, right? I mean, the founders themselves, forego distributions, make investment, and that's been happening every week as we move forward, whether it's in leads, whether it's in tech, whether it's a new product, data. I mean, across the board, right? We've invested millions of dollars this year, and we still continue to do so. So we're moving. Like I said, we know where the puck is. We don't need anybody to get us there per se. We will take the right partner at the right price at the right time, but we will be where that puck is going to be here in a few months. And people really need to just stand by. I tell you, here's what's going to happen is everybody who's not part of this, everybody who's sort of kind of sitting doing their own thing is going to wake up 6 to 9 months from now, completely flat-footed, miles agape, wondering what the hell happened.
Yeah, that's how we feel.
Yep. This leads right into what you're saying, I think, because we're getting some questions. Probably the some of the most questions that we get are centered around equity appreciation rates. We act like owners because we own it. Maybe we can get a little update on what's been going on there, fellas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is sort of one of the more fun parts of the job, frankly, and it's actually quite complicated. We did our grants last year, right? And many of the AOs as well as producers, received those grants, and we've been very busy calculating, right? There were many things that we had to put into it, but we're done with that. And so, we have a final draft of everybody's allocation. And that's done. And it's really been a rewarding experience. As you see on the slide here, right now we're at about 350 producers, corporate staff, builders. Frankly speaking, for the agent pool, there's more than 200, right? I don't have the exact number here. It's on a slide, right? It's up on one of my other screens. But we really, really put a lot of thought into this so that we could prime the pumps, not just for now, but for the future. And so this year, when we determined who would get grants, there were producer grants for folks, at over 200,000, and there were builder grants. And this was really based on many, many things to show like how we're building value in the business and reward people for delivering that value. It was based obviously on their production. If you had year-on-year growth, we actually increased your production to reflect that growth. I mean, part of this is obviously to reward people who are growing and building businesses, not just to reward people who have built businesses, right? Because as you can see from all the numbers, we've had tremendous growth year on year, and it's going to be more next year. We rewarded people for base shop because the base shop is critical. And I think, everybody, here who is a agency owner understands that, right? Having a farm team that you can mini use and continue to grow is very important. It also provides you a lot of value and provides you a lot of overrides, which is important. We added factors for adding new writers. We added factors for those who broke out new agency owners, and there were a lot of AOs broken out, and that's adding literally permanent value to the franchise. So we really factored all that in, and we put it in some sort of NASA supercomputers to see what would come out of it, and we have the answers. So we granted, these grants based upon our sort of illustrative values that we use, and values are always open to question. Could be more, could be less, but looking at the comps and looking at our own projections and knowing, that these things are subject to change, we still granted, I'm going to say for agents, over $55 million worth of value this round, realizable upon a triggering event, based upon our view of how one should look at the value of this.
Yep.
I'm not, by the way, Brandon, look, I mean, these are ears, and the ears, the equity appreciation rights, but I want to put just put something out there that people might not think about, right? This obviously provides tremendous value. It's geared to the top half of our agency owner pool. It takes all these things into account. But, I've been in a lot of businesses for the last decade, seen a lot of businesses for the last decades. And I just want to make it clear, our comp plans are second to none. Frankly, I really don't even have a paradigm for it, right? Look at it, other than perhaps like these hotshot traders on Wall Street, right? Our top performers make as much just in income, forgetting years, their years might be worth $10 million, right? But, on top of that, they make more than the founders make, right? Just on cash income, right? Our AOs, especially as you move up the ranks and you really start adding in the passive income layers, as we point out, a human being can produce only so much, right? But a human being can produce a lot of recruits and a lot of AOs and agents under them. That actually knows no limits, and it shows in our system, right? So it's not just years, they're incredibly valuable. Right, the income opportunity in the network is literally beyond my personal experience, right? We're minting people who are business owners. These people make as much as CEOs at Fortune 500 companies, right? That's what we're doing here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well said, buddy.
And that's Brandon, that's the way we set out 12 years ago. We wanted to create something where if somebody really wanted to build a business, that they would have the same or better opportunity as a founder or as a CEO. And, Pope was very instrumental at that for us in the beginning when we were kind of thinking about how do we draw out our compensation plan? How do we split this pie up? Because you could take too much for yourselves and not enough for the people, and that's not good for the company. Or you could give too much to the people and not keep enough spread to actually provide the value that we're talking about. And that's also not good for the people.
Yeah.
So Mark, to hear those comments and to say like, we you know, kind of blindly threw that dart back in the day, 12 years ago with the promotion guidelines and how we set things up. But to look at it now and see that we have a number of people in our company that aren't running what the company's running. Clearly, you guys represented just a fraction of what the company is, but you're earning what the founders are earning or more.
It's more every month, Casey. It's more every month. We're making new AOs every month, as you know. We're making new directs every month, as we know. But directs every month are making more money than they made the last month. So it's just a massively accretive enterprise, and I don't think people can really you can't overvalue that.
Yep, it's pretty cool. And the last thing I'll say on the ears, Brandon, is, you know, this for all of us together on this journey will be, it's very fluid. It's very kind of, again, we're going to analyze all the deals that we have in front of us, and we're going to, you know, but this is it's kind of a stair-step process. It likely won't be an event. It will likely be a series of moves over the next couple of years. And so there may be kind of smaller, but multiple bites of the apple along the way. And so we just kind of want to prepare everyone for that there may be kind of a series of 2-3 different moves that happen as the company. You might have an opportunity with that equity, with those ears that you have, or if you're behind the scenes in the corporate office and you have the O's, to say, I want to actually cash out 25%, but I want to leave the rest in, and I want to keep rolling with this thing. And you know, you better believe that's where we are. You know, with any capital we take on, with any possible equity we're going to actually share with anyone in this company, we don't want as much cash. We want to leave it in there. We believe so much in what's going to happen with on this journey for the next few years that, you know, that's the cool part, is we can kind of leave it in if we want, but it will more than likely be, you know, a couple different events along the way.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, let's do some.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Maybe we should talk about some of the things that are going to help us get there.
Yeah, we got it.
It might seem like it's coming at you pretty quickly, so buckle up. There's a lot of good stuff to cover here, guys. As we're talking about investing in a platform, you know, there's 3 main areas where our focus has been really this year and will continue to be: product development. And we kind of look at all of these as marketplaces, you know, product marketplace. How is that going to evolve? How are we going to be able to create new products that aren't offered elsewhere? It's not just finding new products, it's creating new products. And, you know, many advisor board members or higher level producers and agency owners are going to be on committees that are helping us design some of these products. And we're going to get into all of these things. Same thing with a lead marketplace. We used to do mortgage protection, direct mail, 100%. Then we entered into every other type of lead that you can. And now how are we going to continue to expand that and stay on top of it? Because the mortgage market is ever changing. Right. And so if we were just to remain a one-trick pony, you're kind of leaving yourself out there a little bit. And then how will we continue to evolve the agent marketplace so that we are something for everyone? We're big believers in, obviously, the field model, because we love the mix, the ability to build a kind of franchise-esque type opportunity and create passive income, systematized income, freedom, time, all of those things. Some people may want to be more of a permanent agent or a corporate agent. Some people may want spots in wholesale, as you're finding and uncovering different agencies that, you know, have been in the business for years and are looking for a different home to create different kinds of value. We're going to get into that as well. First, let's start with leads, shall we, Casey? This is what generally most of the agents are concerned about. And some people will say, I don't have enough leads, I need to get more leads. And I would say, okay, where are you willing to get them, right? First, how are you willing to get them? And how quickly are you willing to work them? We're getting ready early September to roll out digital exchange leads, which will have the potential of doubling the amount of leads that we currently have, okay? Our goal in everything that we're doing is not just from the DX doubling, but also digital DF leads, which we're now allocating 700 to 800 leads a week, which just started a couple of weeks ago. final expense leads, getting back into getting those back out, and understanding that the lead system in general and the lead marketplace in general, it is going to be evolving, so that we're not just having kind of static lead rates, but it's more of a value-based lead system. So we may offer you a lead, Casey, that has a 5% close ratio, but if it's an $8 or $9 lead or 6% close ratio, if it's an $8 lead, is it a good value? Absolutely, it is a good value. Now you have to work more of it, and we'll show you how to work those better. But that's what we mean by value-based leads, right? Some lead costs may go up a little bit. Some lead costs may go down a little bit, but it's all going to be based on how well you can close them.
Yeah, and the beauty again of having the business intelligence team, and really, as Mark said, continuing to invest in our ability to analyze data. It's really like a data company, data analytics company. We can now be a lot more surgical with our leads and say, based on our averages, this is where this lead should be priced. If it's priced over this, it's not going to be enough value for the agent to survive. If it's priced under this, then it's too good, and it's not going to be, the company's going to hurt because of that, because we're selling leads too cheaply based on the value. And so this ability to analyze the data and look at that and then say, this is where this lead should be priced to deliver the right amount of value to the agent to keep the company safe at the same time, and to continue to be able to do an actual extensive lead program like we do.
Yep. So what are digital exchange leads? Exclusive life insurance leads. We've been working on this for 6 months, sourcing these from multiple private digital partnerships. And we believe that we can allocate thousands of these a week, potentially scaling to 1,000 or more a day.
Yep.
Their ages 20 plus. They're actively shopping online for term life insurance. So they have filled out a form requesting information. It's not just raw data.
Yep.
They will have completed an extensive questionnaire online to get more information. Their information will be coming from you. And just like all what we've been saying for the past year on our digital exchange, or on our digital leads in general, the speed to response is the key to success. The agents that have leaned into that, Casey, and are making their dials every day are going to have more success, especially with these leads, than others.
Yep.
And some of the things that will be evolving in the lead marketplace would be, you're going to have an opportunity to take a lead, but if you don't pay for the lead quickly enough, then it doesn't matter if you're in first place or second place or third place, it's going to drop to the next person that is available to take that lead, because speed is of the essence.
Yep.
Okay. These should be launched early September, as I said. $9 leads. That is basically the same as an A1, which will soon be a B1, so it doesn't get too confusing. We're having a whole bunch of new lead types coming out, but what used to be a 5A is now, a $9 lead now. So if I see that pricing, what should I be thinking about? I should think that value-wise, it should be close to a 5A lead.
Yep.
Some people really love those, or an A1 lead or a B1 lead. Okay. Standing statewide orders are important because they're going to be accepted and processed in HQ, but it's important because it's really hard to nail down by county where you're going to be able to develop these leads. Now we can nail it down tighter, but maybe it costs a little bit more. The value doesn't necessarily increase. It just, the cost goes up, right? They're going to help your close ratio and PPL statistics, right? We will be tracking close ratios on just these leads as well, obviously, but they are going to, just like bonus leads, help your close ratio on the other types of leads that we have. Okay. And I think this one goes without saying. I skipped ahead because, but I should say it. We're going to really rely on people giving us accurate, timely disposition on these leads so that we can hone them in and get them better. That's the beauty of these digital exchange leads, Casey, is we can take what we're hearing, take what we're seeing, take the data sets and say, we want to create more of these that fit into these parameters. But in order to do that, we've got to be able to see just how, we have to see very clearly just how effective they are. Okay. Yep. We're also going to be doubling down on our own digital in-house leads. And, one of the things that we've really been working on this year is building out our data sets, building out our people that can interpret the data, and making sure that we're continuing to evolve how we're creating mortgage protection leads based on the changes in the data. I think a perfect example that you can make sense of this would be, 2 years ago, if you were to increase your mailings to people that were in a $600,000 or $700,000 home, that may work okay in some areas, but from a national standpoint, it generally would not have worked as well. Your return rates would have gone down. Well, what do we know that's happened to the mortgage market just in the past year and a half? Those same people that were in $500,000 homes are in homes now that are worth $700,000 because the mortgage market has boomed. Another great example of this would be if we just blindly were to mail every county in a state the same parameters, what happens when you go into areas like college towns, big college towns, as an example? Your return rates aren't going to be as good because a lot of the houses that are owned are not actually being lived in. Resort towns can be another example of that. So we're constantly kind of looking at the data to figure out how can we hone in better, create more leads, but keep the value and the price where they need to be. As I mentioned, final expense direct mail leads were launched last week. We're piloting some new telemarketing FE leads as well. And as I just mentioned, we got the new DFL leads that have been launched. Okay. So next up, I think I hit all of that, right? Digital exchange leads.
Well done. Yep.
DX.
Exciting stuff.
Yes.
And that's just scratching the surface. There's 10 other bullet points, Brandon. We just can't get to them today. So
no, they're going to keep getting good though. And I will just say this, which is, I think, probably what we'll say a couple of different times, but the people that evolve and the people that lean into learning new tricks on these lead types will have obviously the most opportunity. The agency owners that do that lean into it. Not everyone, we may not be filling GMRs with these, but it's going to give people an opportunity to work them. The people that go into it, just like they did on the virtual sales platform, with an open mind, they're going to have a ton of opportunity.
Yep.
This is one we're really excited about. We huddled up with the AOs yesterday, I think the directs last week. And we talked about two things in particular. One you're going to get to in a second, but this one we're really excited about. New partnership with SBLI. It's a new insurance company called Quility Level Term. It's being underwritten by SBLI. We're also going to be launching our direct consumer 2.0, and we're going to hit on the Gabby partnership a little bit. Okay. So who is SBLI? The Savings Bank Mutual Life Insurance Company in Massachusetts. I think we know why they shortened it now, although they still left a few letters out. Why is it not SBMLICM? Yeah. They've been around for a long time. 1907. They've protected over 1 million families, $4 billion in benefits paid out and dividends paid out. Excellent financial rating. What is unique about this product? It's an instant issue product, but what really makes this thing sing is the underwriting components to it. And that's something that we are really, really excited about because it's no longer looking at blood, urine. There are a few health questions, but most of this is data-driven underwriting. Okay, so they're pulling in data from all of the different sources and basically pre-scoring a client with a few very simple questions and first seeing, are you going to qualify for this or not? If you can, we're going to go forward. We're going to ask you a few more questions. And then Casey, you can fit anywhere from a table 0 to a table 5, and the pricing beats anything by far out there. So if you're a healthy individual, you could actually fit into a table 1. A table 0, even a table 2. So it's going to be even more affordable than say our typical table 4 products, right? The speed of which this is going to be happening is unreal. You're going to be sitting with a client, instant issue. The application process can take 10 minutes, instant issue, instant approval, or instant delivery of the application, working soon on instant issue of commissions as well. So I'm sitting with you, Casey. I'm asking you a couple of questions. I'm pre-scoring you for this product. We go through the process, which takes 10 to 15 minutes. You get a preferred rating. Your price is unbelievable. And we go click, and within a few minutes, that policy is in your inbox. And we can actually review it with you. Not have to come back and deliver it.
Love it, man. And the way by the way, this is an exclusive product just for Quility agents.
Yep.
The part about, pricing too is important, because the way we've set up the software is to maximize the amount of death benefit. So again, not focused on driving costs down necessarily, but if I can sit in front of Brandon and instead of showing him 250,000 for $100 a month, I can get him 350,000 for $100 a month. That's what we want to do, right? We want to maximize the amount of coverage we can get for someone. It's not necessarily about just saving money. And we've made sure, because again, if people are saving 20, 30% over the average premium we're used to selling, then everyone's taking a 20 to 30% pay cut too. So the software is set up in a way to actually teach you guys how to sell the value and make sure that we're just getting more value, more coverage on the customer for the same dollar. But exciting stuff. And Brandon, this is just the beginning.
Oh man, this is totally just the beginning.
Pope is in his sweet spot right now.
Oh yeah, he is.
All of us are in our kind of lanes, but Pope's lane, he couldn't be better built for what he's doing right now, which is he's got such an impeccable relationship with pretty much every large CEO, every insurance company out there in our space. We're number one or number two with pretty much every insurance company we have. So we have the power and the leverage to go in with these companies and build a product, because a lot of them are going to say, well, we don't want to put all this. It takes a lot of money for an insurance company to do this work, to build a product for our company. And they're not going to make that investment unless they know there's muscle behind it, unless they know we actually have a distribution channel that can actually make that investment work out. And clearly they see that. And so Brian's behind the scenes running like crazy with how many other carriers right now, Brian?
There's
more in the pipe.
Yeah, there's more than 5 products that we're currently designing. And those are some of the most entertaining, just exciting meetings that you and I come out of, is meeting with these insurance companies. And we're saying, hey, you ever thought about doing this, or this? And that's why I think it's important that as we build these committees out, we're going to have people closer to the field, not just managers or advisory board members, but people that are actually knee deep in it, that can help us generate new ideas for products that aren't available anywhere else out there. And they're all going to be instant issue. They're all going to be data driven versus blood and urine driven, which sounds terrible to say, right? They're all going to be, deliverable at point of sale. Next on deck, as an example, is a DFL policy that we're working on. Imagine how quickly that will change things with a debt-free life policy, to go instant issue, pre-scoring underwriting, happens in minutes. Like, it's really
Did we mention full comp too, Brandon?
Full comp, full bonusable, full everything. So you guys are going to love this product, but you better learn how to sell it really, really well. Because like Casey's saying, there will also be add-ons, return of premium, paycheck protection is coming. Things like children's policies, critical illness, all those things will continue to evolve as the policy, as the relationship continues to evolve. And I'm not talking years. I think we're talking weeks to months, how they'll evolve. Okay. And they're hungry for the premium. So a lot of people have been contracting already. We've started some of the upper level management. One of the challenges, guys, that we always have with the new insurance carrier partnership is they think they can handle it until they're knee deep in it. And all of a sudden they can't handle it. And it's not generally the underwriting or the processing of apps. It's generally the contracting and the onboarding. So that's coming in phases. We have ramped it from 20 to 50 a day. But I would say, to be safe, look to kind of early to mid-September before you're able to kind of write this product and to begin that contracting process. There will be some unique things about the contracting process with this, because it's instant issue. We may not be able to approve new agents until they've submitted a couple of applications somewhere else, because they have to do background checks like all carriers do, but you can't do a background check on somebody if the product is going to be issued in 5 minutes. The background checks aren't that fast. So exciting though. And I think what's really cool too is this is going to completely change our direct to consumer platform, because it's actually a product meant for direct to consumer. It can become the cheapest product. It can become the most valuable product, meaning we're going to offer it up to $1 million in premium. John Hancock will be on the platform as well. So what's going to be different about your direct to consumer platform that no other platforms have out there is you're going to have multi-product, multi-carrier options in here. It may look like a virtual Quigley. You may have a virtual agent in there that's kind of helping you helping the client step down to figure out what is going to be the best product for them. That's why pre-scoring and all these things are so important, because we don't want someone going all the way through an application and then finding out that they weren't approved. Does that make sense? We need to know before someone gets all the way done that they can do it. Now, one of the things that we're going to be working on, in addition to all the products, is you may be able to do a lot of things, add a lot of different riders, different add-ons from even other insurance companies to one product with one application. And that could look like it could support 10 to 15 different products and benefits.
Yep.
This one's good. Okay. We've also got our digital P&C partnership that we've alluded to a few times with Gabby getting ready to roll out. This is a good one. We think it's going to be a slam dunk, but we're not going to roll it out to the masses because we need to make sure it's a slam dunk. 40, nationwide, not nationwide insurance company, but nationwide auto and home insurers that can help your clients. They're all going to be different by state. Whichever states or whichever carriers are the best per state will be the ones that are offered. The average customer savings that they see company-wide is $981, just a little bit shy of what our average premium per policy is. Think of it as, if you're an agent, what can this do for your sales? You don't lead with it. You leave it behind. But is there a better, oh, by the way, than this thing that we just did for you is free? Because we just saved you. Like, we ran a sample with Doug in Witzay, and it came back over $2,000 a year savings because they were looking at home, auto, all of it, right?
Pretty slick platform.
I'm really excited about that one, right? No P&C license is going to be required from you guys because you're not trying to sell the P&C. You're not answering any of the questions. Not your job to do any of it. That's Gabby's. You're going to share a link and you're going to get a bonus. And that bonus will be on average about $100 per policy. That's just free cash money. Phase 1 is launching in September. We've got 50 agents already selected that are going to be rolling it out. And Casey, if I were an agent and I were to say to you, well, why wouldn't I just get my P&C license and try to handle this too?
I haven't met many kind of jack of all trades in our industry that do very well. It's like, it's just hard to do it all. And, you got to focus if you're going to get a good result. And our value proposition to agents is, what if we could show you a way to have laser-like focus and just get really good at one thing, which is to acquire the client off of a lead, and then get good at the end of that sell of the, oh, by the way stuff, and kind of set it and forget it. Same thing with QMS. Let's keep your focus on the main thing, and then let the cross-sell engine, let product platforms like this continue to backfill your compensation plan ongoing with more income. This thing is kind of cool too, because if your client goes on and redoes their insurance policy, which if they're saving $1,000 a year, likely they will. But if they were to do that again a year down the road with Gabby, then the commission happens again, right? So it's ongoing commission on the platform. Back to the agent. We'll probably build in a little bit of override commission in this as well. But pretty slick. And if you're a P&C agent, I don't know what the full commission is. It's probably a couple $100. So again, I'm not going to go get all licensed up to sell P&C and have to deal with all that.
Not only do I not want to have to get licensed, I don't want to have to answer the questions. I don't want to have to service it. I don't want to have to be that agent.
The service part that's massive. Yeah.
Any of that. And so they say, carrier can do the service. Okay. But they're still going to call you when something goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to have to know all of that, because I want to know what's going to make me the most money in the least amount of time so that I can have freedom. That's what I want. Casey, over to you, because this is a big one.
All right, it's a big one, guys. Yeah. So we have a bonus program right now called the Fast Track Bonus, and it's a little complicated. There's a lot of moving parts to it. Some of you guys have actually hit a lot of the levels on the fast track. Some of you hit all the levels on the fast track. Your agency owner was really good at kind of onboarding you and kind of putting your eye on that, which is great. But, universal adoption wasn't really happening. And we also kind of felt like, with this recent look at what we're seeing with SNAs, that newer level agent, is there something we can kind of retool with this fast track program to actually sweeten the pot even more for newer agents? And we think we figured that out. We think we figured out a way to completely simplify this bonus, this fast track bonus. So we've scratched fast track bonus, and we're now calling this the slingshot bonus. And this bonus program is going to run to Denver. Okay. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Brandon, I think we have an explainer video to help kind of kick this thing off for everyone. So slingshot to Denver. If you're behind the scenes, just go ahead and play that video for us.
Time to break down the all-new slingshot to Denver bonus.
I can't believe it. If it isn't Mike Honcho himself, shake and bake, buddy. Shake it before you bake it. Here I come. Slingshot engaged. Yeah, mate.
Love that movie.
Yeah, it's no Lebowski, but I got to admit, it's pretty fitting here.
Sure. Yep. So our goal with this bonus program is very simple. It is to accelerate or slingshot every new agent we onboard as quickly as possible by giving them the opportunity to earn 6 months worth of commission raises in half the time.
And a whole bunch of cash to go with it.
Everyone loves cash. Yep. So doing this is going to have a dramatic impact not only in the career path of our new agents, but the increased retention and production growth will make an even bigger splash across the entire organization at every level.
Yeah, this bonus program will be a large investment from the company and from the leadership, but the return on this, we believe, will be massive. It's going to be like pouring gasoline on the already blazing fire we have going right now. So, Casey, tell them how it works.
Okay. So as mentioned, this bonus is really for our newer agents. If you are currently on a 70%, 75, or 80% contract level, you should listen up. Everyone at the higher levels, you should probably also listen up because what's good for your new agents is also good for you. So this slingshot bonus has two main components. One component will affect your commission level and how quickly you move up the first few levels of your promotion guidelines. And the other component puts cash money in your pocket.
So let's start with the commission level or contract level part of this. To understand this part of the bonus well, you'll want to be familiar with the current promotion guidelines. As you can see here, if you're on a 70% contract level, traditionally you would need to do 2,500 of net placed 2 consecutive months in a row to receive your 75%. But with this new bonus, you can slingshot yourself in half the time, just 1 month, by doing $5,000 of net placed for that month.
So this is only 4 to 5 place cases. This is not a difficult target. And as you can see, the same idea applies to the next 2 promotions if you do just 2,500 more of net placed than the current promotion guidelines tells you to do.
Yeah, so you've basically accelerated your path to an 85 in half the time. Instead of 6 months, you can be there in as quickly as 90 days.
Now, we know many of you are here to produce and build an agency. So for this part of the slingshot bonus that affects your contract level going forward, just like the normal promotion guidelines, you are able to count your team's volume to hit those targets.
We'll dig into more detail on the contract level part of the bonus in just a second. For now, let's talk about the cash part.
Well, this part is also very simple. Simply put, if you hit these targets with your own PIN, you'll be receiving a 10% cash bonus on your net place volume for that month. Now, you aren't counting your team volume to unlock this cash part. That's only paid on your personal net place volume.
Yeah, so just to clarify, not only are you getting a permanent 5% commission bump with more on the way if you hit the numbers, but you're also getting a 10-point raise in the form of cash money.
That's right. And if you do more than the target with your own PIN, it's 10% cash on whatever you do. So if you come out of the gate strong, like so many of our new agents in our company, and do, let's say, $15,000 of net place in your first month, that's $1,500.
Now, there's some additional rules to unlock the full potential of the slingshot bonus, one of which is pretty important. There's a consistency component we're looking for. We want to see new agents consistently doing the right activities on a weekly and monthly basis, just like you and I used to have to do when we were in the field.
That's right. We learned that if you sell every week, you get paid every week, and that's kind of important. So For the bonuses to be unlocked, we would like to see at least one sale or one application submitted at least 3 out of the 4 weeks of the month or 4 out of 5 weeks on a 5-week turn-in.
There are some other pieces of fine print around what carriers are included in the program, so pay attention to that.
And there's more. Speaking of carriers, we're still going to have the Carrier Kicker bonus program on top of the new agent Slingshot bonus, unlocking a lot more cash and an invite to Symmetry Destinations trip to Four Seasons Papagayo in Costa Rica. We have agents hitting all of these targets in their first 120 days of joining us. Our question for you is, why not you? Why not now?
If you add it all up, hit all the targets, when you combine cash and the value of the trip, that's an additional $18,500 at a minimum in bonus pay on top of your commissions. That's a minimum. Some of you will earn double that or more based on the amount of production we see new agents hitting these days.
So imagine earning an additional $40,000, $50,000 or more in your first 120 days, in addition to your commissions and your contract raises. So, are you ready to slingshot?
Yep.
I am too.
Yep.
Let's go get it.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. You know, I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last. You know what I'm talking about? That phrase is trademark, not to use that as a position to Ricky Bobby.
Oh, man.
Ricky Bobby.
Love it.
You've been really wanting a Ricky Bobby.
I've been excited about that one.
Reference.
I know.
It's a good one.
It's so fitting, right? So
yes, it is.
We always have, we're gonna have some questions around this. We just so everyone understands, this is a large investment on the company. We have been working on this with the advisory board, talking through it with some of the equity partners. It is going to be a lot of the cash from this is going to be split between the equity pool and corporate to make this. We're predicting probably $500,000 or more, I would say, of investment through to Denver. So it's a large investment on the company, but and the reason we're running through Denver is because we want to analyze it. We want to look at it. We want to see what effect is making this move actually have on retention levels. We're betting, because we've kind of run some analysis on it, we're betting this is going to have a dramatic effect in every level of our company. Okay, especially in the retention and therefore growth category. So big fun stuff here happening on the this is going to be, we already got questions rolling in, Brandon. This is going to apply to every agent right now at the 70, 75, and 80% contract level. So I had some questions on, is this kind of retroactive or is this only apply to brand new agents? Until Denver, this is going to apply to every agent at those levels, 70, 75, and
most
80.
of it will. Yeah, most of it will. Not the carrier parts.
Yeah, the
slingshot piece, and we'll
slingshot component. That's right.
Yeah, we'll break this whole thing down. But
and so review that again, Brandon, if we want. So $5,000, as you guys see, it's really just 2,500 more of net place volume to get your promotion part. And again, you can count team volume for that. The cash component is only based on your own PIN, but if you hit that $5,000 number, then you're going to get a $500 bonus. If you hit 10,000 that first month, like many agents do when they come out of the gate swinging, then you're going to get a $1,000 bonus. So you can really rack up the cash in this equation, because we're going to pay that 10% on whatever it is you go out and do. Okay. What else, Brandon? The flanking part is, I think, one of the first questions that comes up, especially for anyone building, is, so let's say I'm at a 90 and I got to do 2 months, or let's say I'm at an 85, Brandon, I got to do 2 months to get to my 90%, but I have people under me that are kind of now fast tracking in a way, or slingshotting up the promotion guidelines in half the time. Keep in mind, the way our promotion guidelines work, you get to count agency volume to get your raises. And so the consolidated premium and volume that's coming from your team is going to also move you up the promotion guidelines. We also stopped it at 85 for a reason, because at 85, to move from an 85 to 90, or even 90 to 95, you can really kind of outright that with your own PIN. You can stay out ahead of people kind of coming up close enough to possibly flank you or compress that spread by just being in the field the right way. It's not that much volume. So we wanted to give you guys in that middle spot the buffer you needed to actually not get ran over by the Zamboni. we love to call that, getting ran over by the Zamboni, because in these situations, you can kind of see it coming, and there's really not much excuse for it. You see it coming, you just have to adapt to it. And in this case, just personally produce enough, or if you've been recruiting like you needed to, then you're going to actually benefit from that production coming in under you.
When does it start, Casey? That's a big question.
Starts September 1st, and it's going to run through February 4th at conference. At that point, we may roll it, we may adjust it, we may take it off the table and put something else on the table. We don't know yet. We're going to analyze the numbers and see what it's looking like, and see, maybe we sweeten the pot, maybe we do something even better. But I think everyone involved in the leadership team is interested in making this investment, because we see the massive return that could come from it. What are the questions we got?
Well, I think the main thing, not only is it an investment from us, it's also an investment from the equity partners, who were unanimously in favor of it. Everybody jumped on, like, once everybody understood it, like, absolutely, this is the best bet ever. The capital bonus will be decreased a little bit, but not by much. We huddled up with the AOs to discuss that as well. Producer's bonus, you can't qualify for both the producer's bonus and the slingshot bonus. So whichever one that you qualify that is more is the one you'll get. And we are raising that bonus guideline on the producers from 10,000 to 12,500. Okay.
Right. Because it is a bonus.
It's a bonus. Yes.
So we felt like, after you're done with the slingshot component of your business, you really should have that target on a minimum of 12.5 of personal production of net place to unlock extra more bonus. So let's see here. There's always, okay. Yeah. Everyone's asking about, well, what about the other fast track stuff? Well, all the stuff that was on fast track, like the carrier kicker stuff, is still in place. We changed things a little bit better to the advantage a little bit here. Carrier kickers are in place at $15,000 in net place premium in the first 90 days with one of the following core carriers: Mutual of Omaha, SBLI is going to be in the mix now, Americo, and Foresters. Okay, and we'll add more carriers if we can. If more carriers want to play in this component, but that's $1,000 per carrier. So you could earn up to $4,000 by hitting all these carriers. But if you earn 3 out of 4, if you see the hat trick, you're going to get a $3,000 bonus on top of the carrier kicker money that you already got. If you hit 45,000 of net place with any bonusable carriers, so if you hit 45,000 combined in net place with bonusable carriers in your first 120 days, and that starts at your opt credential creation. So when you're onboarded with us, you have 120 days. If you can hit 45,000 of net place with bonusable carriers, we're going to invite you to go with us to Costa Rica, the Four Seasons trip. And we've already had a few people win doing this destination kicker. So exciting stuff. Bunch of money at play here, in addition to moving up those promotion guidelines. The consistency component, as was mentioned in that video, is also very important. So you must submit 3 out of 4 weeks. You must submit at least one application every 3 out of 4 weeks. In a 5-week turn-in, you need to go 4 out of 5 weeks. You cannot skip levels. That's another thing that maybe people assume when you say slingshot, that you're somehow kind of moving or skipping a level. You still need to do the 1 month. Okay, we can't have a lot of flanking happen because you just did way more and you skipped a couple levels. But you do the 1 month time there. You hit your numbers and you move up a level there.
Yep, I love the consistency piece.
Yep,
and I think as AOs and just as producers, kind of talking about that a lot more. It is the most important. When you look at our data, it's the most important thing to getting an agent successful. Consistently taking leads, consistently managing your activity. Doing production every single week until you are losing money by doing it every week, meaning you may get to a point where you've got 10 agents, 15 agents writing, and you're drowning and you got to work with them and help them and mentor and all that. But until it costs you money to be in the field, you should be in the field. And as new agents, you should be in the field every single week.
Yep.
Not every day. We're not saying you should be running 30 or 40 appointments a week. That's ridiculous. You may want to do that. Most people don't want to do that, and you may want to do it for a little while, but not forever. But you should be running, whatever your numbers say that you want. If you want $5,000 a week in premium or $10,000 a week in premium, work backwards from there, but you got to consistently buy the leads to get there. That will allow you to call enough people, to book enough appointments, to talk to enough people, to sell enough policies to make that kind of premium. Every single week is the key.
Right.
All right. I'm sure there'll be more questions coming up, but wait, there's more on the agent marketplace. Think of the agent marketplace as we recruit, 300 people a week. And that would mean, Casey, if we're selling 3,000 policies a week, we're sitting in front of, 7,000 or 8,000, 9,000 people every week. The same can be said for our recruiting efforts, right? So wherever you're recruiting them to currently may not be the best fit for them. We think that this is by far the best fit on the field side. The corporate side also is a great fit for people that want to do more cross sell. There's also client acquisition people on that side, but mostly focused and growing on the cross sell piece with QMS. You may talk to people that are like, I've got 30 agents. I've been in the business for 30 years. I've got renewals. I've got all this other stuff. I'm just looking for a fresh start because my culture sucks, or because my boss is terrible, or because I'm not making enough money, or because of whatever. They may be a better fit for wholesale. You have the ability, and we rolled this out last year, you have the ability to recruit the wholesale and get what's called a bird dog bonus. So this is a little bit more of a review on how that works. And it's probably good timing for us to review it, seeing as how the rest of the industry seems to be like completely crapping the bed right now. There are a lot of people out there that need your help. Okay. So go help them. And if they're like, I don't know, I've been doing this for a long time, I don't want to start over, then we'll hand them off to Kevin Jensen in wholesale. And if he can have any more conversations than he's having right now, then he will do it. But we'll figure out how to do that. But you basically will get a bird dog bonus just by having conversations and sending them it's somewhere that may be a better fit for them. The bonus will be paid on the entire agency's net place premium. So like everyone in the hierarchy up to 5 directs in your hierarchy will also receive a bonus. Now it's small. It's not huge. I wouldn't say it's small. It's not as large as building someone up from the beginning, but the bird dogger would receive 5%. The upline hierarchy would split up to 5%, I should say, because it depends on where they're put into the hierarchy. And each direct will receive 1%. So let's kind of put that into context. Here's some examples. Matt and Brad Smith uncover a $100,000 agency that, maybe they don't do mortgage protection and final expense. Maybe they're doing other stuff and they've already had a system and they've already built it all out and they just want a better track, right? That would look like Edward Pritchett, because he is one of the directs, getting a 1%. Matt and Brad, because they were the bird doggers, will get $5,000, 5%. Okay. Assuming again, it's up to 5%, up to 1%. Another example, Marshall Whalen, someone in his agency that's not even an AO potentially, uncovers one. You can kind of see how it splits. So it's bird dogger, Andrew and Pogue both get something there. And then Marshall Whalen also would get a 1%. Okay. So the main thing is, if you're having conversations, and you should be having a lot of them with people that aren't a good fit, then get their information, find out what it is they're looking for, and maybe we can have someone else give them a call that is a better fit. And that's really what we mean by this entire agent marketplace. We have the best franchisable opportunity out there for builders and producers. We have the best corporate sales model where people that are not having to chase down potential clients, they get teed up as many as they could ever handle. Now we have the best wholesale opportunity for somebody that really wants to be a lone wolf. How would you recruit to this, Casey?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, again, I think what you said about timing right now in the industry is important, which is why we're reviewing this, because you guys are going to start getting a lot of calls. You're going to start hearing a lot of, we're already seeing so many people kind of come to us wanting to know what Quility is. They're seeing the lights kind of turn on over here, and they're like, okay, well, what is this? Because we're on 100% contract level and we're starving. We can't get enough leads, or the quality of leads is costing, is making us go broke. And so you're going to start getting a lot of that. Being able to do math for people in those situations are very important. And so we want to arm you guys with the math and the tools and how to show people the actual compensation plan the right way, because it is a little bit more complex than just a big contract. It needs to be more complex, frankly, to actually make it work at the various levels. I think if I'm kind of talking with someone on the phone and they, maybe already have a wholesale type contract or even a wholesale type agency, I'm kind of using the career paths as my tool. We kind of have a couple different buckets here. Let's line up a call. We can spend 10 minutes and we can review each of those compensation plans so you can kind of understand them. And if you need to kind of sling that kind of referral or that possible recruit up into your leadership a little bit, that's always a good tactic, especially if you're talking to someone who maybe in the industry has been in the industry longer than you, maybe even has a larger agency than you. You use your kind of managers to help in these situations. If I could get you on a call with, Matt and Brad Smith for a couple, they're some of the top earners in the company, 7-figure earners. They understand what's going on with Quality Wholesale. They understand what's going on with our career channel. They understand what's going on with our franchise model and can kind of do the math on all of these. I would be slinging people up in those equations to the top lines in the company. Let them help you close those bigger deals. But if you're one of those guys, and it is a wholesale channel, then that goes to Kevin Jensen and he can kind of tuck that in for us. But exciting stuff. I mean, a lot of turmoil happening out there right now. So keep your ears to the ground.
Answering a couple of questions. Yep. Answering a couple of questions, Casey, just around some of the new companies. We will look into whether or not SBLI is an E&O company. I don't really know for sure. I would say if you're an agent, you should have E&O insurance. Not just, and I know people say, well, no, but you got new people and they only have so much to invest. I get it. But if they only have so much to invest, what they don't want to do is get sued and have even less to invest. It's rarely a problem, but we're in the insurance business. Don't you think you should get some insurance on yourself? That's what E&O is. Another question is, are PPL and max case credits going to apply? Absolutely. They always will. We'll let you know what they are. It's not going to be crazy. And especially for new agents, there shouldn't be, we're looking at net placed premium. So it kind of takes care of itself. But if somebody's submitting a lot of bogus business, then we will handle that. Max case credits are going to be the same as they have been. We'll put all this into the fine print. I think one thing to note is that policies written on yourself will not count. No controlled business on yourself. Okay. Because the data clearly shows that the whole point of what we're trying to accomplish with this is that we get agents working leads, get them working leads effectively. They can still get referrals and they can still take care of those closest to them. But writing a policy on yourself is not necessarily teaching you what we're trying to teach you. Should you do it? Absolutely. I would do it for free because there's a couple of carriers that you can get a free policy on. But you always want to write policies on yourself. It's just not going to count for that bonus.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Sorry. There we go.
Lot to cover here, guys.
Lot to cover. And we're evolving Quality HQ. It's going to be a high priority on all new Quality Switchboard. We'll kind of get into that as we continue to evolve and let you know. More than likely by Denver, there's going to be a lot to unveil around that. But
that part is important. And I know we're running overtime here, but I will just say, again, a lot of our focus, a lot of our priority in the agent marketplace from a tech standpoint is not just giving you the visibility and the data that you need to lead your business with HQ. It's also things like Switchboard, which we really haven't even talked a lot about, but Switchboard is going to be the thing that really automates your workflow and optimizes your workflow so that, what if there were ways we could show you guys how to make half the dials and get the same amount of contacts? There's so much stuff like that we can do with technology that we're going to build. This is going to be a drastically different looking tech platform in 6 months. So get ready for that. But
yeah, I just wanted to say one more thing too, to everybody still kind of honed in and listening. You know, as we've talked about the leads marketplace and it evolving, always understand that the leads that you're going to be getting through us are going to be highly vetted. They're going to be TCPA compliant. They're going to be safe for you and the company. You've all signed contracts saying that you will not call leads that are not TCPA compliant. You will not put the company at risk. You will, and none of you should be using kind of marketplace leads without first verifying that, is this safe for me to call?
Yep.
Because there are a lot of vultures out there, guys, that are looking for you to call them when they have not requested a call. And as soon as you do that, over the past couple of years, we've had just serial litigators that are waiting for you to make a mistake so that they can charge you $5,000, $7,000, $10,000. If you violate your contract and are calling leads that are not compliant, we're not going to be covering those legal fees for you. That obviously should go without saying, but if you're doing something that we have not given you permission to do, even though technically we can benefit if you make the sale, we don't want to benefit from that because this market is changing quickly. So dialers, all these other things that are not vetted, you need to be very careful because it is a landmine.
Yep.
I'm not trying to scare anybody, but maybe I am a little bit.
Scared me a little bit, but that's fine.
Sorry.
All right, guys. That's
Altitude's coming up.
Refocus. I mean, think about this, Brandon. You talk about pouring fuel on the fire. We got all this going on. We got slingshot bonus program. We got all of the other goodies we've just talked about. And now we're kind of adding the original old school fuel back in the mix with some of these altitude conferences. So if you're out there and you got one of these in the schedule, get ready for this. Pritchett, Pappas, Whalen, you see the dates there. Kimbrell, Capistrano, Stubbs, Monteith, Cook, Young. Purdy's got his tour going. So just
prosperity. I like it.
Yeah, man. Loving that.
Yep. Hearing nothing but good things so far too. Be safe, be respectful, wear your masks, wash your hands, do all the things that you know to do. Be decent. Don't get other people sick. It's all good. Got a fall tour coming up too, Casey. 30 cities in 60 days. Rumor has it that you're going to be attending most of those.
I don't know.
Just kidding.
At least half of them.
At least half of those, right? Oh man. Yep. Altitude conferences, more information there. And of course, we've got coming up the Belco Theater in Denver, Colorado, the granddaddy of them all. That's the Rose Bowl, but we can kind of steal that a little bit. February 3rd and 4th. If you haven't been to Denver in February, you don't know what you're missing, but this event is going to be awesome. I feel like there's all this kind of like pent up energy and everybody's really just wanting to get them. So they're going to have that at the altitudes and they're going to have it at the fall tours. And then, leads right into Denver, where it's going to be awesome. Look how cool that theater is too. First time ever from a national conference, a big conference standpoint.
To be in a big theater like this. Yep.
cool.
5,000 seats. We're going to sell it out.
Yeah, we are. So Casey, how do you lead through this transformation? And leading means how do I influence others, but also how do I influence myself? What are some areas that I think we can all work on, because transition and transformation is tough. Change is tough. Change is if it wasn't difficult, then everyone would have already kind of gone through it at least on a personal standpoint. It's a way to kind of think of it. But, with business and with this ever evolving atmosphere we're in, we're kind of being forced to lead from the front on that change, or else we have to adapt to where the change is going. Right.
Right.
One of our favorite words, obviously, when it comes to leadership and just how to be a better person in general, is be intentional. And how would you describe, to someone what that means in this situation?
Yeah. And guys, we have four points